or too sensitive, if they just tried harder, if they learned self-control, if they prepared better. But maybe it's not so simple. With me today is Dr. George McCloskey, psychologist, teacher, clinician, and author expert on learning and behavior, especially on an area of brain activity called the executive function. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Let me start by asking, the great they that say all these things, are they wrong?
Okay. Well, actually I think they are. We do have this idea, and it's a pretty simplistic one, that these are all choices that brains are making. They just simply have this ability to be able to do what we're asking them to do, and they're just being lazy, unmotivated, and could do it if they wanted to.
Right.
But the real fact of the matter is that brain development isn't that simple. This is really a process that unfolds over time, and the brains learn how to do these things more effectively through trial and error and through learning, also through education processes. And so we really have to be interacting with individuals, with children, to help them understand how to accomplish things that we want them to do, and how to develop strategies for doing them.
Right. Well, you use the term executive function, and I've seen that term a lot. It's almost like a buzzword, and the description that's always used with it is, it's like, the CEO center of the brain. What the heck does that mean?
Well, it's and it's the one that's most frequently used. So it's sort of, and it's becoming cliche to the point where everybody say, well, okay, then you have executive function problems. Your CEO isn't working well.
Right.
But that's a little, again, it's oversimplifying. The idea here is that there may be an ultimate CEO of the brain. In other words, there may be a source of inspiration and motivation that you follow.
A literal biological center?
Well, there's a drive. There's a drive to kind of give meaning to life and to have a purpose. And we are finding that there are biological bases for that, yes. But there's a lot more detail that we have to fill in here. So in getting there to that ultimate CEO, I think of it more, the metaphor I use more with individuals is the idea of a multinational mind corporation. The idea being that it's not just the CEO, it's the whole management structure. So the idea here is that you've got multiple layers of management. And you have, and in some levels, you have directors that don't do anything but direct other directors. So we have these differentiated levels of direction within the brain. The simplest one being the first level. Just like management, at the first level of management, you've got a lot of different managers. If you are a multinational corporation, you have offices all over the world. And each of those offices is going to have a manager in it, right? And the CEO has no idea what those managers are doing on a day-to-day basis and doesn't care. He's got his responsibilities for the ultimate, goal. But these individual managers are responsible then for making the workers do what they need to do. Think of the workers as the rest of the brain.
So if it was limited, all these little creatures running around the brain.
and think of them as neural networks. And so each of these little entities are really neural networks that you have to direct and drive to get things done during the day. Now, without a manager, then you wake up in the morning and you'll pretty much do things, and we can do many things on a regular basis if they're habit. If we've done them before and we know how to do them, you can wake up and pretty much go through your entire day with the habits that you've learned and you've done, and not really use your frontal lobes, your executive functions, to drive or direct your behavior much.
You said frontal lobes. That's literally a part of your brain?
Part of the brain, the forwardmost part of the brain is what we call the frontal lobes, and that's where executive functions are housed. The idea here being that there's parts of the neural networks within the brain that are responsible for this directive capacity, and those are in the frontal lobes. So sometimes I use that shorthand version of calling the frontal lobe functions. But there's a lot of other things frontal lobes do too, not just executive functions. But the managers are housed pretty much in the frontal lobes, and these are developing over time, and they enable you then to take control. And instead of doing things that you do automatically and you do it every day, out of habit and routine, you're able to alter your routines, to change, and to do things differently.